Okay, well, from the previous tutorial, we look at how we give our data in the database in which we perform a specific create command by using um, the register account that we get in here. So in today's video, we are going to make some refactoring in this and also find a way to send the proper error message to the user. Because we need to do this. We don't want to repeat. We want to keep our code dry. So what you want to do now, head on to the internal and the data. You see the regex.go. Go in this regex.go and you come in that you find where we write this code, this match, and we are going to make a getting comparison, and that is going to be you get an if statement and you use the error comparison operator, which is if, and when we have it, we compare the error with that of the one in bcrypt. So you have a bcrypt and you use bcrypt error match hash and password. So for that, what we will do is not an actual error, so we are not going to return error, but what we are going to return is instead of returning true, the password do not match. So we will return for and nil for error. So that is the changes that we are going to make in this function. That is what we are going to make in this function. So let's come back here and okay. So what we are going to do next is we will create a file over here. In which that file we will call it error.go. Go in the API and in this folder all the files over here take something. So it takes the package main. Or use the package main and create a function, and this function is going to be a method on the API flag that we defined from the previous tutorial or the previous video. So what we are going to do next is I'll call it log error, and it will take two arguments. That is one to be the pointer to the request, and another one is the error itself. So we will just use the API to access the logger, and then we print something, and what we are going to print is just the error. That's it. So after doing this, we are going to make some changes in the helper. We'll go to the helper and right before this, you create a type, and this type will be called envelope, like this, and it's going to be of type map, in which and it's going to have a string as it's going to have a string as its key and an interface as its type. And now in this data, which is an interface, will not be an interface again, but it's going to be a type of the envelope, like this. So if we make this, there is going to be an error over here in which this one requires an envelope, and you come and make those corrections over there. So don't worry. We'll come and make those corrections over there. Let's wait. Let's go back to the error, and we will define another method on the API, which is going to be error response, and it's going to take some couple of arguments. So let me collapse here. So what argument is it going to take? The first argument that it's going to take is going to be the http dot response writer, and the next one is r and http dot request, and another one is going to take a dictator, so dictator, which is a type of integer, and an error, which is a type of error. So you get a variable for the envelope, and we are going to call the envelope over here open, and it's going to have a key error and its value to be the error. And here you have an error which is going to be equal to which is going to be equal to the API, and we use the write JSON function. So we pass the request, and the next argument is dictator. So we pass dictator, and the next one is going to be the envelope, and that is going to be the env, and the header is going to be nil, like this. And it returns an error. How come? Oh, let me see. Okay, so we need to change this variable, and we have an error over here like this. So I will just say the error now becomes equal to, if the error that we are having now is not equal to nil. So here we will show message. So let me change here to be message, and here to be interface, like this. And over here we are going to have here to be the message that we are going to show. And so we can map here as the error and this, and if the error is not equal to nil, what we are going to do is we will use the API, then we log the error, or API dot log error like this, and we pass in the request and the error over here. And the next one is we use this to write header. So we write a header, and the header will have a data code of 500. Log error, go. Okay. So now let's write another function, which is a method on the API track that we define, and that is going to be server error response, and it's going to take two. So we are going to have the HTTP, going to have the HTTP response writer, and a pointer to the request, or HTTP dot request, and that is not going to have any return statement as the previous one. And over here we will take a message. No, so you get a message, and this message is going to be equal to the server and counted an error. And from here, we are going to use the API and now call the error response, and we pass in the request. We pass in the response right and the request. Then the status is going to be status dot no http dot status internal server error. That is error 500, and we are going to have our message to be the message like this. We are going to have the message to be the message like this. So we go back here and now let's fix our error that we have. So the error that we have is going to be this one. Instead of it, we use the envelope and we set here to be users, and we use this one to be the user. So like that. And this one, let's make some changes in this one. So we are going to write another error for this one. So let's go here, and in the error, let's create one function. So that is going to be a method on the API, and we are going to have API, and we are going to have a field validation error. So field validation error is going to take the response writer. So you have http dot response writer, and the next one is going to be the request. So you have the request http dot request. Let me pull out here. http dot request, and the next one is going to be http. Now we are going to have the error to be a map, or a map in which its key is going to be string and its value is also going to be string like this. So from here, we just call the API and we use the response, error response. We pass in the writer, we pass in the request, and for the status is going to be http dot status unprocessable entity, and the next one is going to be the unprocessable entity get 422 error, which is there is something that cannot be processed, something like that. Go, and over here you pass in the error as the message that is going to show. Okay, let's come back here now. Let's use API dot field response error, and we pass in the request and also the error that is from the validator like this. It's unnecessary for us to, we are not going to do it. So we use API.field validation like this one, and we will just pass in the error and also the var.error from here. Okay, so our error is gone. Where is it? Okay. I make if statement, all of the oh, so we use the API, and now let me clear the off. We are good to go. I forgot the if statement. Okay, so let's come here and now make changes, certain changes in our main. So I will come to the main, and over here, if I try to, there is an error that need to go. If there is an error over here, then okay, this one is normal. Go here again. Okay, I think here is good. Let me go here. And now when we are trying to input it, there is an error that shows up. And here the server encounters an error. We can remove that from here. And now over here, we will use, instead of this, we will use server error response for this and R like this. And we will use this to replace this one, and we bring the return statement. Okay, the same as here. Okay, so we have successfully refactored everything here. So in the next tutorial, we are going to look at how we will log in the user and also activate a user account. So thank you for watching, subscribe, and we meet in the next video. Bye bye.